Welcome, guys. I am so sorry. It is so late. I apologize. It was like 60 degrees yesterday. I'm lying. It was actually like 69 to 70 degrees yesterday. And yeah, today it's snowing. So I had to drop my kids off at school, had to come back home and salt and put stuff down in the driveway. So just a great and fun time with that. So welcome to Whacked Out Wednesday. I apologize for taking so long yet again. Just getting my stuff ready. Sorry, just going through the there's a lot of craziness going on this week. It seems to be the theme of the week this week is just crazy time. Sorry, I'm trying to if I leave it dark, you can't really see my shirt and it makes me look invisible because my shirt's actually green and I have the green screen on. So yeah. There's that. So where we're at right now is trying not to go crazy. Just trying to get some stuff going in the background. Let's get some. I want some beats. What's in this? Nothing in that? All right. Well, we're going to find something else. What's ambient? I don't know if I want that. I don't know if that's what I'm in the mood for today. Disco country. I really have to there we go. Guys, feel free to let me know at all if the music is too loud or non-existent or whatever. Hold on one second. Man, this is the week that keeps on giving this week, I swear. All right, well, we don't have a whole ton of time left, but feel free to let me know if, the music's very distracting or anything like that. I want it kind of hanging out in the background, but I don't want it, like, overbearing my voice, you know what I mean? I think when I had it about here last time, I think when I had it about here, it was fine, but we'll work it out. Deep breath, man. Whew, deep breath today. Today is Wacked Out Wednesday. And it feels like it's been actually this entire week so far. But we've been talking about, oops, just want to make sure I didn't hit something weird. We've been talking so far about, all the stuff involving meditation, with changing your mindset with meditation, with, how to trying to incorporate meditation through your everyday life in difficult situations. That was everything up until now. To right now, what I want to talk about is some of the wackier stuff that you find with having to do with medicate. I keep saying medication. That's not what I intend. Finding some of the wackier stuff having to do with meditation. I researched some things that, just to see what was out there and what people are having interesting situations with involving meditation, and just to see, what people come up with. And I found some kind of interesting stuff that I didn't really expect. Also, I wanted to talk about some unconventional ways to meditate. So I found some interesting things, definitely, and I wanted to talk about them. And feel free in the chat box to let me know if you've experienced any of these things. Sorry, something very good just happened, so I had to address it. So let me know in the chat if you've been experiencing any of these things. Let us talk about and enjoy the good weird stuff that's going on. So one of the things that I found interesting, but I related to very much, was sorry. I told you this week has presented some pretty interesting challenges for me. So, okay. So, I apologize, guys. I keep saying it. It's been a crazy week. So the stuff that we're dealing with is like, whoa, this week. One of the things that I researched was losing feeling in your body. And this is something that I relate to. I've definitely felt and experienced it before. But I didn't realize what it was. And how they described it was in the process of learning to observe and be with your feelings and your thoughts, you'll begin to fall into this kind of these moments of bodilessness, as I call it. So it's actually really normal. What it is you're so focused on focusing on your thoughts and feelings that you're unaware of your body's presence in that moment. It'll happen. It's completely normal. You'll bring everything together and you'll relate your body's experience to what's going on around you. And if you're not looking for that, you can kind of shut it off. But it's literally just that. It's noticing your feelings, your body's emotions, the things happening all around you. And you're so focused on that stuff that you actually feel a disconnection from your body. And most people consider it kind of like an outer body experience type of thing, but it's completely natural. And I guess some people have gotten freaked out by it, but I just thought it was a part of it, you know. There's something where when you're focusing so hard, just like losing focus on your body kind of begins to droop or like go slack or whatever. It's completely natural. The thought may pop into your mind where you realize that like you're bent over in half. That's an exaggeration. If you are bent over in half, you should realize that at some point. But you know, like your head will kind of move. Some people reported like their heads swaying or feeling that body sway, or you know, you lose, like, you know, people who practice in the Om position. I forgot what the official title for it is, but that's what I call it. People who practice in the Om position and they kind of, you know, put their hands on their their legs or whatever, kind of noticing like their shoulders starting to slump or something like that. It's completely common. It's nothing to get nervous about, nothing to get crazy about. Just when you do notice it and that thought pops into your mind, bring your awareness back to it. Stretch out your shoulders, sit up, you know, or lay down, whatever you're doing, whatever feels comfortable for you. You know, just be comfortable in what you're doing and get yourself into a place where you can either hold yourself up or support yourself, or, you know, like I said before, just lay down. It's nothing to get bent out of shape about. So some people have experiences with feelings or sensations of presences, either audible or in their minds or feeling it. And this can be incredibly common. So like you'll feel something kind of brushing against you, or feel like a breeze against you, or, you know, think you hear somebody like whispering or talking, or like some random noise. You know, people report hearing all kinds of things. And it's pretty much just you getting used to your surroundings without any other noise involved. It's kind of like falling asleep and you all of a sudden hear like the dripping faucet from 2 floors away, you know, like that type of thing. Like all of a sudden you are tuning in hardcore on that sound. It's kind of like that. It's sounds that are in your house every single day. And, you know, when you're meditating, you feel them harder. Right now, I feel an actual little chill. The window's open, feels nice. But, like, if I was meditating, because I'm so focused on what I'm doing, if I was meditating, I would probably feel that cold a whole lot more intensely, or feel like the prickliness on my skin or something like that to go along with the sensation that I wouldn't notice on the average day. And especially as you're getting more further involved in in feeling your surroundings, you know, you'll start to notice these things more and more, and then you'll start to piece together what they are. And it's the same thing as, you know, if a thought pops into your mind, just appreciate the sensation for what it is and let it go. Feel it, let it go. Let it just happen, you know? As you get closer to achieving something like a dreamlike state, you can feel disconnected from your body, like we talked about before, or disconnected even from yourself, like your self. A lot of people have reported these outer body kind of experiences, and it's a natural thing. Or like, if you don't recognize it as an outer body experience, you might see it as like seeing yourself in a third person view. Like I know I've had that experience, or at least that thought process, where I was like, oh, I feel like I can witness myself meditating. I feel like I see myself sitting there in the middle of the room. And a lot of people had this strong feeling. And it's, again, getting to know the energy and vibes that surround you and kind of envisioning that as what's going on, and taking a step out of yourself and realizing that, you know, you're a separate entity from this vessel we call a body. And that's one of the basis of meditations when you get further and further into it. But these have been reported by people as well, like sensations of watching themselves like dream or sleep or whatever. People have often called it like lucid meditation. because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're having a lucid dream, watching yourself lucid dream. You know what I mean? And I do have a video that I want to share on that in a few minutes if we have time, since we're running so late. Excuse me. One of my favorite things, because to preface this, people with ADHD have a different perception of time. I think it's not just people with ADHD. It's, it expands to way more than that. But people with ADHD often experience it a lot compared to the regular masses. Also, people with autism, things like that. People with OCD at times, stuff like that. It's a part of hyper focusing, or honestly just being bored, whatever. But during meditation, you can experience time lapses, and you can go forward or backward, or kind of feel like you're frozen in time. And the cool thing about it is it teaches you a fundamental element of time, which is that it's a human-made concept, right? We understand time in a completely different way than somebody from a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth dimension would experience time. At the same time, somebody from the first or second or third dimension would experience time. It's all different, and it's all relative to what you experience and what you go through. So time as a label, as we understand it, is a human construct, right? When you're meditating, it's kind of like if you've ever went to a party, or you're playing video games, or you're just talking endlessly with like a good friend or a loved one, and you get lost in that conversation, and you just start losing track of time. All of a sudden it's 4 hours later, right? All of a sudden it's 4 hours later, and you guys feel like it's only been like a half hour, maybe an hour, At the same time, if you've ever taken a test, or like read a boring book, or, had to work with somebody you can't stand, or you're in a doctor's office, for example, you know what I mean by, because time stops, or time feels like it's going so incredibly slow that it might as well have stopped, right? That's the same type of situation, depending on what your mindset is, depending on where your mind is at that time. It's important to recognize and really feel that out, meditation can do this when you're focused, or when you're experiencing these otherworldly sensations, or getting used to your environment in some sort of way. You can start to kind of feel time around you, I want to say. Excuse me. You can sort of feel time around you, and that's, I say that in a sensational sense of like, you feel the breeze, you feel everything kind of working in slow motion, and once you get more advanced, you can kind of tune into that. You can tune into that to put yourself in the future. You're meditating on something, on a decision, for example, that you want to make. So you start thinking about the decision, and you start just letting it happen, and let the vibes flow, and let the feelings about it flow. And then all of a sudden you envision yourself in this position in the future, or in this area in the future, or whatever you're envisioning. And you're there. You can feel it. You know what's happening. Like, you are present in that moment. You can do it in the past, where you go through and you review, emotions and situations that have happened in the past, and not to relive them, but to examine them and observe them and learn from them and grow from them. Talking about the anger conversation last week, and talking about, the steps of deconstructing your feelings and getting into meditation deeper from, what we talked about previously. It's kind of that process, and it's using time to your advantage. You can get lost forever in a single moment, only to come back seconds later. You can feel like an eternity passed, and open your eyes, and it's only been 2 minutes. Or, you can literally close your eyes, feel like you've been there for a while, and maybe it didn't move at all. Maybe you've just experienced that. If you've ever dreamed And if you ever, so like if you ever fallen asleep and you've had like a dream, I've before had dreams that, those infamous falling dreams where like I'd look at the clock and I'd fall asleep, right? And then I dreamed that I was climbing this mountaintop, and I got to the top of the mountaintop, and there was a bed on top of it, and I laid in the bed, and then something happened where the bed fell off, and I jumped awake, and I look at the clock, and it's literally a minute later. So there's a time lapse involved because the speed of your mind works different than when you're awake, as opposed to when you're sleeping or when you're meditating or when you're in a relaxed state. And it's the same kind of concept here. You can get yourself into those lucid states just by meditating. Sometimes as we get deeper and deeper into emotions and feelings or lack thereof, as we talked about a couple minutes ago, people have reported noticing their breath changing, getting more shallow or quicker. Sometimes it can get slower and deeper. Think about taking a ride on a roller coaster, and now imagine that experience was just because you closed your eyes and thought of that experience, right? The same thing with envisioning yourself in a peaceful, area. It's a mindfulness tool called visualization. And it's an aspect of meditation. It's like an immediate meditation that you can utilize to get yourself out of angry moods, as we talked about before, or whatever, out of sad moods or whatever. Just bring you to a peaceful place. And it's really powerful because through these situations, people have noticed their body signs change, their blood pressure lower, their heart rate slow down, their breath getting, whatever the sensation is that you visualize. Or if it's the roller coaster scenario, it's the opposite. If that's something you enjoy and you want to get yourself into a fun, pumped up mood, visualize that. Use that as a tool and visualize that to get yourself in that mode, Sorry, I think this is so funny. The liquid death that I drink a lot. Me and my wife love this stuff. It's carbonated mountain water. I don't know if you can see it right by my middle finger. It says ingredients: mountain water and CO2. But they had this sale on cozies. I call them cozies. And you can order ones that look like paper bags. So obviously it looks like you have something alcoholic, and you don't. I just thought the humor was perfect. It's non-alcoholic, obviously. I'm sure they might come up with something eventually. I don't know, but so far it's just pure mountain water, pure great stuff. No affiliation at this point. I would love to, but I wouldn't walk down the street with this, or maybe I would. There's nothing that they can do because it's all water, If I feel like I want something bubbly or just something different, that's what I have. So yeah. So visualization is that's the cause of this, but like I said, the changing of the breath, the changing of the body signs and signals is is something that people experience during these visualization exercises and these meditation routines where you put yourself in that situation. Some honorable mentions are things like joints, body parts twitching. I know my wife experiences it when she goes to fall asleep. Her legs will start to twitch a little bit. Things like that. Just signs that your body's slowing down. Joint or muscle pain for the same reason as simply being too distracted before to notice. So, you meditate and you start feeling like, ow, my knee hurts, man. My knee's sore or something, and it might have been there, but you were able to ignore it because you were cleaning the house, taking care of the kids, going to work, doing all this other stuff that you were doing. And now you're not doing anything else. You're not doing any of that stuff. So you feel this ache or this pain, Also, a part of the reason why they teach you body scanning when you meditate, and That's a big part of it. How does my body feel? It's like checking in with yourself while you're meditating. And that's a part of the correlation that we talked about before with correlating your breath with certain emotions. And that's part of the reason why. Because people get tense, you get tight, you get angry, you get upset, your stomach starts to hurt, your breath gets faster, your limbs tighten up. I know people who used to get angry and they wouldn't realize it, but down, by their sides, they'd ball up their fist and they'd keep their fists so tight because they were so mad. And they didn't even know it. And then when they release their fist, they'd be like, oh my God, my hand is cramped. I don't understand what's going on. And they didn't correlate it until somebody pointed out you were balling up your fist because you were pissed off, So it's that kind of thing. When you meditate, they teach you to body scan because it's to bring your awareness to what stage your body's at, what emotions you're feeling, and how to tie those together. And an honorable mention too is seeing strange lights. People claim that when their eyes are closed, I experience it at times when I'm trying to fall asleep, and I used to think of it as my eyes are trying to wake me up because I see these like purple clouds. I don't know, like you close your eyes, it's black, right? There's nothing there. It's just the dead of light. There's nothing there. And I see these like purple hue lights floating past my eyes. And, at times I just sat there and just let them go and watch them. And eventually I fall asleep. But there's also a lot of times where I have like focused my eyesight on where the lights are and kind of held onto it to see what would happen. And then almost reflexively, almost as a reflex, my eyes popped open. So I've always just considered that as like my eyes are trying to wake me up. But there's a lot of people who experience those types of things when it comes to meditation, because that their eyes are channeling things. You're feeling the energy around you. Your eyes are resting. The blood's getting to your eyes. There's a lot chemical wise going on inside your body when you're meditating, and a lot that's changing and sort of recalibrating and readjusting, and that's a part of that. That's why it's not just always black. Or like, if something passes by or something, you're meditating near a window and a bird flies by, you're going to notice that light change happens. And it's not necessarily anything supernatural, but sometimes you might feel like it is. Sometimes it's feeling the energy and the vibes around you, and seeing different spectrums of light that you wouldn't normally see because your mind wasn't open to that, right? And that's part of the video that I'm going to share in a couple minutes. It's only like a 3-4 minute video, but that's a part of it. And I think it's very interesting that this guy was talking about this stuff. So getting into some strange ways that people meditate. Hold on, because my light keeps shaking at my camera, and I want to make sure it's not messing with the thing. I'm not sure why it's doing it. Hopefully that's better. I think I moved the camera a little bit. Let's get me more in the center. There we go. Apologies. I'm standing here like moving my arms, and I'm noticing that my camera's shaking, and I was like, it should not be that bad, dude. It should not be. So some strange ways that people get into meditation, or that people meditate, is maybe not as strange as you might think originally. I was expecting to find some crazy stuff. People standing on their heads, which there's a lot of resources and there's a lot of information out there. There's hundreds and thousands of different ways that people meditate, crazy ways. So I just, wrote down the ones that I thought were interesting or that sparked something in me. The first one is sky gazing, and it's simply lying down with your vision fixated on the sky and letting your mind wander. And it's like it's that old thing that you used to do when you were a kid and used to just lay down on the grass or lay on the roof or wherever you grew up and look up at the clouds and just let your mind go and talk about whatever you're talking about with friends, or if you're by yourself, just listening to music or just staring off into the expansive sky. And it's just, looking at the clouds, and that's one of the things. People don't realize it's a form of meditation, because when the clouds float by, that's one of the reasons why they take a shape. That's why they start to form into something, or that's why they spark like an immediate form. And different people see different things in the clouds and the sky designs and things like that. And that counts as meditation. That's what that is. It's an open eye meditation where you're just fixated on the expansion of the sky, and you get lost in thought about like, wow, how big is the sky? Where does it end? And blah blah blah. That's a form of meditation. Another one that I found interesting that I forgot about until I read about it doing the research for this episode was mimicking nature or animals. And obviously the animal ones, I feel like they're more related to like tribal rituals and things like that. But I've seen situations where people would like, or like kids do it all the time. You like pretend you're a monkey, or so you sit on the couch like a monkey, or you pretend you're a cat. So you would climb something and just sit there like a cat or whatever. There's stuff like that where you kind of experience it as play, but it is a form of meditation because it's channeling into something else that's not you. And it's getting a deeper understanding of that thing through acting like that thing. I've also seen people standing outside swaying in the breeze like grass or trees. I don't know really what it's called. I forgot it off the top of my head, but I've seen people who kind of like whatever they feel is the expression of the tree or the plant life or whatever, they'll kind of like hang their arms, or they'll just sway back and forth with the trees swaying in the breeze or whatever's going on. And even if it's just the wind blowing through like a desert or through like just a field, right? The wind blowing, they'll kind of like move their hand through the wind and feel it, you know what I mean? Or sway or dance with the wind. I've actually seen it in a cartoon too. In Disney's Moana, the grandmother sings about how she likes to dance with the ocean. And that's what she's doing. She's mimicking like the movements with her arms. She's mimicking the waves. So I've definitely seen that. I've experienced that. I don't remember ever doing it myself, but I remember seeing it being done, whether in person or otherwise. There's also rituals, and as witchcrafty as that sounds, however you may feel about that, it's kind of like just whatever you do in your everyday. I'm going to get more into like a specific type of ritual that I thought was interesting. But rituals like candle meditations, chakra-based concentration meditations, yoga, and even in some cases like exercises that you do, because exercises can become a ritual. And then you're fully involved in what you're doing in that moment, right? You're fully involved in the exercise. Maybe you're lifting an extreme amount of weight, or maybe you're just moving your body in a way that you really want to focus on, right? And that counts. That counts as long as you hold on to that moment and are fully involved and invested in that moment. That's what makes it count. These techniques activate your senses, and they cause you to focus on a very specific part of your body or very specific things. And it's in order to expand your consciousness in some way in that moment. So that those definitely count as meditations. Standing meditations. There's all different ways to do it. I don't know if, during the last couple of streams that I've done, I've been standing up, at my standing desk. I tend to do a lot better when I stand. I focus a lot better. So I stand throughout my day. And it gives me things to do. Like, right now as I'm standing here, I'm moving my legs and moving my feet, and it helps me focus on what I'm doing, without running around and acting crazy, And I discovered it when I was a kid, and maybe I'll talk about it again tomorrow. But I discovered it when I was a kid, and one of the teachers was like, noticed that I get out of my seat all the time, or that I lean my chair back, or that I, rock my desk or whatever. And she was like, how about if you don't mess with the other kids, you don't distract the other kids, you don't touch the other kids, things like that. How about I let you just kind of roam around the back of the classroom as long as you pay attention and you follow the rules? So I said, okay. And without even thinking about it, like, that was one of the best things that we ever did. And me and my mom remember that distinctly, because this teacher was amazing. And that was one thing that changed my school career and changed what I thought about school, because now I had a way to focus that was acceptable, and people didn't care as long as I didn't bother them. It was a very cool thing. And that's when I started discovering that I meditate better in moments of like movement or whatever I'm doing, rather than sitting still most of the time. So even when I'm standing still, when I've been on the stream before, that's me standing and focusing on what I'm focusing on, and meditating, and that's what I do. There's a technique also that I wanted to touch on called SAMU. SAMU, SAMU. It's SAMU work meditation, which is a form of Zen Buddhism meditation where you can take any portion of your day, regardless of what you're doing, and do it all at half speed. So everything that you're doing in that moment, if you bring it, if it's in your awareness, all of a sudden you're like, man, I hate stapling papers. And that could be your cue to like cue into that moment and literally do it at half speed, putting the papers down on the sheet and then lining it up with the stapler, hitting the staple through the paper, checking the pages to make sure that the staple went through. And they do this to involve awareness in you more intricately in your everyday life. Typing on a computer, what does the sensation of the keys feel like? What does the sound of the keys make? Do they make a sound? How does it feel when the key presses as opposed to releases? How long does it take the key to register on the computer? Things like that. And they insist on doing these things at half speed when the awareness arises, because of all these. It just changes your whole vibe and makes you so much more aware of every intricate sensation that's involved, from your skin cells interacting with the keys, and the sounds and the smells and the sensations. I can only imagine it being an amazing thing. I haven't tried it myself, but I do plan on doing that at some point. It's really taking a step into mindfulness and everything involved in everything that you do. And that's what I appreciate about it. And that's what I get so interested about when I read about this. You could do it in, you can meditate in other ways. Some other like honorable mention ways that I found that people don't think about are eating, walking or running, traveling to work even. Most of the time it's involved in taking public transport, but like if you listen to music or listen to books on tape or just drive in silence and you're just present with everything that's going on, that's a form of meditation. That still counts. Eating, every bite that you take, what's the sensation on your tongue? What's the sensation in your teeth and your mouth? What are all the flavors that you're tasting? Can you taste everything that you put on that food? That's something that we often talk about in my nutrition coaching too. Pay attention to the sensations of the food. And that's one thing that people start to notice about like fast food and things like that. When you take a bite of the fast food or certain types of food, I'm not going to say it for everybody because some people quite enjoy fast food, and that's fine. Take a bite of the food that you're eating and really register in your mind whether there's enjoyable sensations involved, the texture of the food, is it too wet, too dry, or is it mushy, or is it hard to chew, or is it very like gritty to chew? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it spicy? Is it sweet? Is it savory? Is it bland? And a lot of the times that what people will do is, like, out of the packaged foods, like, you just rip it open and eat it. A lot of the times they realize that these foods aren't really doing anything for them. And that's a sort of awareness that helps with what they eat, because they want to eat foods that are fulfilling them and doing something for them, and not just a bland experience, because then you just want more, and you're just trying to, it doesn't fill you up as well. There's so much evidence out there to prove that a salad that's spiced the way you like it will fill you up more than a steak dinner if that steak dinner is bland or disgusting, right? And you'll still leave that steak dinner wanting more if it's not something that pleased what your body wants and what you mentally want. So definitely eating is a big one. Walking and running, the exercise thing. Where'd I go? Walking and running, the exercise stuff. Like I said, traveling to work, just staying aware. And one of my recently learned favorite techniques is a koan meditation. I think it's a koan, Koan. I've read about it in an article entitled 9 Unusual Meditation Techniques You Should Try by Siobhan Harmer. I'll put the link for it in the show notes. But it says, koan meditation is a Buddhist technique from the Zen tradition, which involves asking questions that simply can't be answered with reasons and facts. Instead, the idea is to see the true nature of Buddha through unanswerable questions or koan. Some examples of beginner koan are, what is the face you had before your parents were born? And that sound, the sound that two palms make when they meet? What is the sound of one hand? And now that second one particularly caught my interest, because that's always one, kind of like, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around, can you hear it type of thing? Nobody knows. But that's the type of thing that you can meditate on and think about, It makes logical sense that somebody can hear it, but at the same time, if there's no animals, no people, nothing around to hear it, then nothing heard it. So you can't hear it, and stuff like that is just an interesting thing to be able to distract your mind and wrap your mind around something completely different. Or like, so like with that one, to me, like there's a feeling to when you stop your hand, or whatever, and there's got to be a sound that we just can't hear. There's got to be there's sensations involved with the hand, and that's what I start focusing on, all the senses that are involved with my hand moving in that clapping motion and then stopping, right? I can even feel it when my hand stops. What is that feeling? There's stuff like that this is revolved around. So there's definitely a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. I'm going to throw up the link, the article link here, because it has other, kind of unusual techniques that you can try to meditate with. And literally there's hundreds upon thousands. I can't tell you enough times how many times you actually, or how many different ways you can actually meditate. It's impossible to quantify them all. So yeah, there's that. I want to watch the video real quick, and then I want to get into the meditation because we're running close to time. So let's get this a-going. I have to clear out my queue. So we're going to go into media share. And we're going to go to show on stream. Let's see. What is this? Where are we? Here we go. It's this one.
When you are sitting meditation, sometimes strange things happen to your body.
Sorry.
Really, sometimes it happens to people. This is one of the problems in the meditation, because it gets them a bit like concerned. Sometimes when you are sitting meditation, sometimes strange things happen to your body. Really, that sometimes it happens to people. This is one of the problems in the meditation, because it gets them a bit like concerned. Sometimes they feel that they're nodding or shaking backwards and forwards. And I remember a classic case, a woman said that whenever she meditated, she always started rocking. And I decided the next meditation to keep my eyes open about 10 minutes before the end. And she was sitting perfectly still. And afterwards I said I was watching. Oh, you saw me rocking? I said, you were sitting absolutely still. I said, no, I wasn't. I said, I was watching you. You were perfectly still. And this is part of what happens in meditation. Your perception is like you're moving, but you're not. All it is your perception playing a few tricks on you. It's part of the course. Other times people think they're expanding. It doesn't mean that you're putting on weight. It means you're there and like you're a balloon getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Or you feel you're rising up into the air or sinking into the ground or exploding. Now when those things happen, please just go with it. It's fun. Meditation can be really boring, the same as watching the breath day in, day out. So when these things start to happen, yeah, this is entertainment. Go for it. See how much you can explode. How powerful. See how much you can expand. Because this is what happens. I call this just perception starting to become free. Very similar to, especially if you come from Asia, where you're really looked after by your parents and almost put in a little prison. And then you come and study, say, in Australia. And the first week or 2 weeks studying in Australia, no parents, you can do whatever you want, you go wild. Partying, doing whatever you like, there's no parents to check on you. And after a couple of weeks, you settle down and go back to, your studies. So first weeks for you. And the first week or 2 weeks studying in Australia, no parents, you can do whatever you want, you go wild. Partying, doing whatever you like, because no parents to check on you. And after a couple of weeks, you settle down and go back to, your studies. So first weeks for a young person when they're free, sometimes they go wild. That's similar to what happens to when your perception becomes free from you, the control freak. It starts to play around, go a bit wild. So I love that because it's really, really good fun. The first time that happened, meditating in Thailand, I went past the washing area, and there on the line I saw a black towel. And I stopped and stared and thought, hang on, I've never ever seen a black towel, jet black. No, you've seen pink towels, yellow towels, blue towels, mostly white towels, but never a black towel. And I stared at it for about 2 minutes, and then it changed back to white again. I thought, my God, is somebody putting mushrooms in the curry? What's going on? And it was nothing psychedelic. It was just the nature of the mind. My perception was playing around. I can be free now. I can see things in a way which I'm not supposed to. And then afterwards, you look at a wall, and it starts to melt like, vanilla ice cream in the hot weather. It just all melts. That was really weird. Now, when those things start happening, you're not going crazy. It's actually fun. Especially if it happens in that time of the meditation, nice and peaceful. You just enjoy it. It only lasts about 5 minutes, and then it disappears. Because this is just your perception starting to become free. You're not going crazy. It just settles down after a while. Don't react to it. All that really is you've been so conditioned to see things one way and not another way. And this is just what happens.
Hello and welcome to Comic Drake, where I talk.
I don't know what this is. Oh, it's something I watched a long time ago. Wow, about comic book stuff or whatever. But yeah, like he said, it's a lot of this stuff that we get weirded out by is just your perception. Your perception playing games with you, because now it's free and open to be able to do that. And so that's the cool thing about it. We'll just make sure that we can get into the meditation. We're going to put it at about 6 minutes because every little bit counts, right? And then we're just going to focus and get right into it. I'm not going to talk to Fox right now. Meditate. So let's do 6. Let's do 5. Chains meditation. We're going to do the repetition meditation. Steady your mind by repeating a phrase. Or, yeah, why not? Wonder wakes me from my slumber. Which my phrase? You know what? Let's save this one for next time. Stop it. No, let it go. Let it go. Yes. Oh, look, I leveled up. So as you see, it's a little bit more vibrant. It's daytime. It's lovely. I've leveled up. The light has come back. So we're just going to do the regular meditation then. No. I keep messing it up. Whatever you set it as previously, that's what it goes off of. All right. Fox is going to be like, what are you doing? Dude. Here goes Whacked Out Wednesday in full force. Continue. No. Here we go. We're going to meditate. We're going to keep it at 5 minutes. Change meditation. Again, we're going to go through... Let's go through sensations this time instead. And begin. Hands in place if you need it.
Our mind takes what we sense and translates them into objects and gives them names. This is how we know what it is that we are seeing, touching, hearing, smelling, and tasting. But behind the objects and names that the mind creates, you'll find completely neutral sensations. And this is what we're going to explore in this meditation. Being aware of our sensations will help us to understand our mind better, so that we don't get lost in its interpretations and translations. So let's begin. Close your eyes and allow your breath to fall back to its natural rhythm. Now focus and bring your awareness to just a single sensation that you're experiencing right now. The most neutral sensation that you can always be aware of is your breath. But it could be something physical like your hand on the mouse or even your fingers touching each other, or it could be something you're hearing like the wind, the birds, or even just a hum. So bring your awareness to a single sensation you're experiencing right now. Allow yourself to just experience the sensation. Explore the sensation with your awareness as if you're experiencing it for the first time. Begin to explore all the aspects of your sensation. Explore the space in which the sensation appears. Does the sensation have borders? Does it have a beginning or an end? These questions won't have answers. These are just tools for you to explore the nature of your sensations. If your mind wanders away from the practice, then just bring your awareness back to the sensation. Also, if you like, you can click the mouse button or press the space bar when you observe a thought. It's up to you. Feel free to shift your awareness to different sensations when you feel ready. The most natural sensation that you can always go back to is your breath. It'll always be there for you. I'll leave you to continue this meditation. If you need further guidance, then follow the on-screen instructions. Remember, explore the sensations as if you're sensing it for the first time.
I feel like that happened to me yesterday too. where my alarm went off right before the bell tolled. Excuse me. So, yeah. As you can see, I was planning on having a little bit more meditation time and things like that, but sometimes it just happens, you know. We don't always have the time, but this is why I wanted to include this game in it this week, and I think this game might actually become a staple in the show, maybe before or at the end or whatever, and you know, just to get in that time of whoever's watching can hang out and meditate along with it, and you know, whoever's checking this out later, that can be their reminder to meditate or whatever. But I think it's important because 4 minutes and you still get that relaxation feeling. You still get those vibes. You still get that chance to practice, you know. It doesn't matter if it's 4 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever. As long as you're practicing and trying, you will notice a change and you'll start to get better and better and better and more efficient at it. If you guys have anything to share, please feel free to hit me up on Discord. I know Discord was having some issues yesterday, but they seem to have figured it out. So there's the Discord, and here's the socials right over there. Feel free to hit me up. You can check out my other full streams on YouTube, or I upload a weekly edited version of the show around the theme of the week. I try to upload them every Sunday. So just check up there. There's notifications that'll go out on the Discord and my socials that whenever the video's up and ready to view, it'll be up there. But check out the website, check out the services that I offer, anything like that. And hit me up just to chat. Truly yours, your biggest fan. This is Stan. You guys have a good night.